Hey guys, well, today I want to talk about defeat. How my life spiraled and collapsed and got destroyed. But in the end, I'm in a better place. I have kids now, and things are looking up. Well, when I came home in 1998, in November, I just finished doing 5 years in prison. I went with Manny Madonna to go see Anthony Sparrow and Joe Benanti. They released me to Manny Madonna. Now, at this time, maybe June 99, all my friends started getting indicted. I seen Fabrizio for a minute. He got straightened out. I spoke with him when I came home. He was a little upset that I went with the Lucchese family and I wasn't on record with the Bonanno family no more. He said, Jimmy, he said, I got so mad when Sparrow released you. I said, Fabrizio, what's the difference? Whether I'm here or whether I'm there, we're still friends. So what happened was everyone started getting indicted in around June, and they started picking up Fabrizio. Reynolds was in jail already. Joey Calca was on the lam. And Willie gave me a call. He said, Jimmy, everyone got arrested. He said, Andrew Reynolds wants to talk to him and me. And I said, Willie, I'm not talking to nobody. He goes, well, Andrew reached out to me. He wants to talk to you and me. I said, well, I'm not going to talk to anybody. I said, that's just the way it's going to be. So Andrew Reynolds reaches out to me. I talk to Andrew Reynolds over the phone. He knows I'm now on record with Manny Madonna. On the phone, he says, Jimmy, I don't give a fuck who you're on record with. I got to talk to you. Tommy's your friend, meaning Reynolds. And I know, listen, I didn't have no friends no more. Those friend days, they were over with me. So these guys are indicted. Anthony Sparrow's indicted, and Joe Benanti's indicted. Now, Chris didn't get indicted yet in Miami. The kid Mike Yamini flipped. The kid Mike DeRosa actually created my case when he flipped. We didn't do anything with him, but what he did was, when he came forward with the feds, he gave them a lead, and he told them about a couple murders that the Bath Avenue crew was involved in. I didn't know how he knew about the women, but that was one of them he spoke about. And they picked up the kid Mike Yamini, and Mike Yamini gave me up and Tommy Reynolds. That night was the first night he ever met Chris Paciello, so he couldn't give Chris up. So Reynolds wants to meet with me, Andrew Reynolds, and I keep on saying, no, I'm not meeting with you. So he reaches out to Manny Madonna, and one day I drive down with Maddie to go see Andrew Reynolds and Joe Flowers on 13th Avenue. Now this guy, Joe Flowers, this guy was such a fucking coward, and they made him a captain. That just goes to show you what the mob has become lately in the last 2 decades. Every time I seen him, he was having his nails done and walking around with slippers and his nails done, with another guy picking up the phone for him and talking. It was so ridiculous how this guy played the part and acted. And then when he got arrested, he cried like a fucking sheep. He put on the act like he was mentally ill and stuff like that. But that's how a lot of these wise guys are today. So getting back to me and Maddie going to see Andrew Reynolds and Joe Flowers. Now, Maddie had some rank over Joe Flowers. Joe Flowers was a captain, but Manny Madonna just did 35 years in prison. He killed a guy in prison, and the guy was a legend. He's from Harlem, and he'd been around the block, and he did a lot of time. When guys do a lot of time, they have a lot of clout, because Prison is like college. You go to prison, and whatever you are, it will come out in prison. If you're a rat, it's going to come out. If you're a tough guy, it's going to come out. If you're a fag, it's going to come out. Prison makes men. That's for sure, 100%. So Manny Madonna goes with me to talk to Angel Reynolds, and Joe Flowers is there. And Maddie tells him, listen, the kid just came home. What do you want to talk to him about? He's right here. After that conversation, Manny Madonna told him, listen, after today, don't contact him. I don't want to hear anyone talking to him. The kid did his time. He kept his mouth shut. Leave the kid alone. And Angel Reynolds went, okay. We said what we had to say. We talked about the indictment with Tommy Reynolds, about the woman who got killed by accident, and the double homicide I committed with him, and the conspiracy for the Bickman murder. Now, at this time, I'm with Maddie, and I'm happy. I'm happy I'm with Maddie. I'm not with the guys from the neighborhood. Now, this kid, Mike something, had a problem with Bubsy and some other kid about some car. So I go talk to the kid Bubsy. The guy Bubsy is also a captain in the Lucchese family. And I'm speaking up for this kid Mike that used to be a drug dealer, but now he's working in Con Edison, and he has a beef with this other kid about some kind of car. So he contacts me. I go straight to the guy Bubsy, to his club on 13th Avenue, and I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, they say, Jimmy, wow, it's nice to see you. You just came home a couple months ago. How's Big Mike doing? Meaning Mike DeSantis. And how's Maddie doing? And I'm saying, they're good, stuff like that. I'm here to talk about the kid Mike. And he said, well, Jimmy, he's a friend of yours. You know what? Let's just forget about it. So it was forgotten about. So what happens is, there's this kid, Mikey Money, from Avenue X. He was a Spanish kid, Puerto Rican kid. I used to go to this house on West 6th Street in Avenue U. There was a bunch of girls in this house. All the girls were good-looking girls. The mother was Eileen, and my mother lived across the street on West 6th Street. And I would go there and hang out. And I always had a pistol on me. So this kid, Mikey Money, comes there one day with a friend of his up in the house. I don't know him. He don't know me. And he bunks into me in the hallway. And I'm going to see Eileen and the girls. This is where I hung out every so often. I was actually dating one of them. And we have some words with each other. So he goes downstairs with his friend. As he goes downstairs with his friend, he calls me out from the window. Now I'm looking out the window. He says, come down. He says, come on, you think you're a tough guy? Come down. So I'm telling him, I said, bro, you don't want me to come down there. So he comes down, him and his friend, they think they're tough guys. They don't know I got a pistol on me. So I come down. When I come down, I shoot up their whole car. I don't shoot them. I just shoot their whole car. Pop, 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 pop. And the kids scatter. Okay? Anyway, the car was their mother's. They borrowed the car from the mother. And it ends up, somehow, they're related to Bubsy Costelli. Bubsy Costelli, like I just said, was a captain in the Lucchese family. He used to be a big pot dealer in Cropsey Park. So one day, I'm on Bay 23rd and Bath Avenue with Paulie Galino and Joe Benanti. Who's there? Bubsy and the kid, Mike Money, the Spanish kid. And they're talking to the guy, Frankie Sharp. Frankie Sharp was a captain in the Lucchese family too. Bubsy was just a nobody at that time. He wasn't even straightened out, just an associate. So the kid Mike Money sees me on the corner, and he tells Bubsy, he says, Bubsy, that's the guy that shot up my car. And he points to me, and I tell Paulie G, I said, Paulie, I said, I had a beef with this kid. I shot up his car on West 6th Street and Avenue U. And Paulie G says, oh yeah, okay. He said, let's see if they come over, they say something. So Joe Benanti was there. He was a wise guy with the Bonanno family. And Bubsy comes over and says, Jimmy, he says, you had a problem with my nephew? I didn't know this guy was his nephew. I said, I remember the problem. I said, I didn't know he was your nephew. So Joe Benanti and Paulie G's there, and we straighten out the problem. They go, well, they can have it out one-on-one if they want. And the guy says, he cowards out. No, that's okay. And they say, okay, let's just forget about the problem. But that's how the neighborhoods were back then. Getting into all this bullshit and trouble. Paulie G was such a stand-up kid. I haven't seen another stand-up kid like him ever before in my life. The only bad thing about Paulie G was he didn't know who his friends were. When Joey Calco and Tommy Reynolds knocked on Paulie G's door, and Paulie G answered the door. And how they killed Paulie G and put the bullet in back of his head. Since I know Paulie G, what he used to tell me was, when they kill me, I want to see the gun, and I want it between my eyes, the bullet. I want them to shoot me in the face. That's what he used to tell me. He said, I don't want it in back of my head. And that's how they gave it to him, in back of his head. The moral of the story is, you think you have friends in this lifetime, but you don't. If you have one true friend in life, you are lucky. But Paulie G was one of a kind. I love that kid. He was more stand-up than anyone I ever knew. He changed the game in the street, and I miss him. But with that said, that's a Bad Avenue story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to give you an idea of when I first came home and I got indicted. I was defeated. As you know, at that time, then eventually I got arrested. My family came up and said, Jimmy, you just came home 11 months ago. Now you're back in jail. I was on the floor with Sally Avellino, the kid Mikey Bloom. And Mikey Bloom was telling me, he says, Jimmy, you don't like these kids, huh? I can see you don't like them. I said, no, Mikey, they killed my friend. And Sally Avellino was telling me, he says, Jimmy, he says, this life is over. So in a way, it's like Sally Avellino was telling me to cooperate, forget about this life. He was giving me hints. There was a lot of treachery and backstabbing with my friends, but I could tell you this, Paulie G never backstabbed me, and he never backstabbed my friends. He was always there for them. And that's one thing about that kid. He always protected his friends, and he would never kill none of his friends. With that said, that's a Bad Avenue story. I hope you enjoyed it today. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel. With that said, I also am putting up some merch soon. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel. I'm figuring it out at this time. It's a little distracting and complicated, but I'm gonna get it done. So just bear with me. I love you guys. I love the follow. I appreciate the kindness you have given me. And until then, I'll talk to you soon. Until the next Bad Avenue story. Bye-bye.